Today is the day that we try again. Transmission number 2, it's your turn. Will you work? Or will you have to come back out immediately and be thrown in the garbage, only to replace you with who knows what? It has to work. This time it has to work for at least 3 days. We're going to go for a record of 3 days with the transmission. Here we go. Whew, that was hard. I'm done now. Coffee break. Ah! What happened to your table?
It's broken.
It's broken? Fix it. Good job. Alright. Here's my new old transmission. The story with this is a transmission minus the bell housing, because I've cracked so many, and what I learned when I started cracking them, as long as you don't crack it down below the bell housing, you can save the case by doing a flush cut around the pump here, and you get this removable bell housing. It's an aftermarket kit, and I think they make this because maybe some big drag cars might flex the case on the transmission and crack it. So that's why they make it, because somebody else cracked the transmission before too. So I bought this thing, and this is the only one I ever had to buy because it's like 3/4 of an inch thick aluminum. Pretty tough. Only downfall of it is it bolts to the pump bolts. It uses the pump bolts, and they through bolt through this removable bell housing into the pump, but I've never had an issue with them. You would think they would bend or break, but they haven't. But the most important thing I learned with breaking transmissions was to get rid of that tail shaft mount, and I haven't broke one since, except for maybe that one I just took might be a little warped. Either way, I'm gonna put this bell housing on. All right, there goes those. And here comes my bell housing. Shouldn't be too hard to figure out where it goes. It only goes on one way. New bell housing is now installed on the transmission, and it's time to go up in the truck. I think. I will be coming over here, lifting the transmission up, setting it in the cross member. Right, here we go. All right, transmission, come with me. All right. So far, I still have all my fingers. All right, that was a lot of fun. Now the transmission's up over my head. We're almost halfway home. With great thought and care, I will now be installing the torque converter. Oh, tried to get me there. Tried to coat me in oil. So I successfully evaded the oil spill. Now, to push the converter onto the pump can be a little bit tricky, but we've done this before. We're just gonna turn the boat back and forth. There we go. And just like that, it's all the way in. But, well, we hope. Oh boy. Now, this transmission has this extended bell housing. Well, it's a removable bell housing, right? Okay, we've got a removable bell housing, which is thicker in diameter Now I thought it should be stock clearances in there, but I could run this converter all the way back in the other transmission without hitting the bell housing. And I have no confirmation that this one's all the way in and it's already hitting the bell housing. It looks like it's about an inch in, so it might be good. But it'd be a shame to put it in the truck and find out that it's not all the way engaged. I don't know how it couldn't be. I mean, it's hitting the back of the bell housing. I'm just concerned. Gotta be in. Okay, I give up. It's in. Here we go. Next step. With the converter installed, I've snuck my body up in here between the engine and transmission. What I'm gonna do next is attempt to pull the tail shaft out from the plate on the frame where it's wedged, pull it towards me, then pick it up in the air and send it back over top of the transmission plate, well, the transfer case mounting plate. At that point, it'll be balancing the whole transmission on the tail shaft, and I'll be supporting the rest of the weight. I'm going to attempt to get this strap under the belly of the transmission. I've already got it run around. I'll tighten it up and I'll crank it tight to hold the weight of the transmission while I get myself out of the way and slide the jack extension in under the transmission, then slide the transmission towards the engine, onto the transmission jack, strap it to that, and jack it up. I don't know if this will work, but every time I get in here I can't figure out how I ever did this to begin with. So let's see what happens. I can't stand where I'm at. I've got to go over here. I'm going to hold this, and while I do this, I can't allow the torque converter to slide out and land on my toes. So nobody knows what's going to happen, except that gravity sometimes wins. Okay, here we go. Now, tilting it back, putting some weight on the... If I put my knee in there, maybe that'll help assist me to get the tail shaft up in the air. What I need to do now is look at a video of how I did this the last few times, because I've just forgotten. Okay, this is not going as planned. It sure does get heavy after a little while. There we go. Tail shaft's going up towards the right direction. Converter's spinning. Oil's leaking all over my arm. Let's move those. If those lines go over there, then they'll stop dripping all over me, and that would be pleasant. At least more pleasant than the current situation seems to be. Okay, this isn't working at all. I don't know about you, but I've been in better places. Okay, now I'm just gonna let that sit on me, and if it falls, it falls. All right, now. Well, this didn't go as planned. I guess I could just keep trying. Now I've got to lift it up. Up, up, up. Okay, that didn't work. I've got myself wedged in a bad little spot here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it. What am I going to do about it? Okay, I'm just going to try this again. Putting the weight of the transmission on my knee while I lift the oil pan. Ow! That was my finger. Okay. All right, now I'm going to push up with my knee and just keep sliding it back and up. Okay, I'm standing on the jack, and that's giving me a good position now to lift it up. Where it's going to end up, I don't rightly know. But I don't want it to land on my toe. Okay, here we go. All right, now I'm going to try and tighten this strap. My head is wedged into the back of the flex plate, and it feels pretty nice. All right, here we go. I don't know what just happened, but I'm just gonna keep cranking this strap. All right, there we go. All right, so now I think while I look at the strap to make sure it's not all willy-nilly, I think that'll let me get out of the way. Unfortunately, it's not in a very good position to get the jack under it because the transmission's so far back. You know, I don't know how I did this last time. I think I might have stood it up the opposite way. It's possible that this won't work at all. All right. Well, what am I gonna do? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll do what I always do, and I'll just do stuff, and eventually something will work. Okay, this is gonna fall, so let's just get that out of my way. Now that that's out of my way, jack's coming in. Okay, here comes the jack. But remember, the jack has to have the block on it. All right, come on, Jack. Get back there, Jack. Get this strap out of my way, okay? The strap's out of the way. All right, calm down. Everything's gonna be okay. Here we go. Putting the jack here. Next comes the block. All right. Wonderful. Here comes the block. This is fantastic. Okay, block is in there. Now what? Now what do you do? Okay, what now? Okay, I've got a jack and a jack extension and a block, and I've got a transmission dangling from a little dollar store strap that's broke already and been tied back together. Looks like it's burned. What now? I don't know. Pick it up? Okay, time to pick it up again. All right. Okay, here we go. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna try and pick it up. Okay, I'm gonna put my left foot up on the jack. I'm gonna use my crotch as best as I can to keep this block from sliding out from under us. I'm gonna lift the trans. I'm gonna not allow the torque converter to slide off. I'm gonna get this strap. The strap is just gonna cause grief and sorrow while it's here. I think I can still get myself in this way. What if I leave the strap and just try and get the front of the pan up onto this block, just using my elbow now basically as a pry bar? Okay, I don't know what happened. Nothing happened. I don't think anything happened. What if I just tighten this strap? Then what happens? Well, it seems like good things are happening. There we go. Now the block's under the trans pan. It's not totally on the cross member here, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna loosen the strap. Whoa, okay. All right. Now everything's going as planned. Things seem okay. I think this could work out well. Let's try and get this strap out of here. Although now it's kind of stuck. All right, but it doesn't matter. As long as I get it unhooked, it can just kind of sit there while I figure out what happens next. What happens next? I'm gonna slide the transmission towards me. Come on, transmission. Ugh. It's really not cooperating, is it? All right. This way, that way, this way, that way. Okay, that didn't really work. But I've got hope. You've got to have hope. Okay, here we go. Come on, there we go. Now we're totally on top of the, whoa. All right, so it's a little bit, so it's not really working. Okay, I don't know what's going on. So the block's there, the transmission's over here, and then the jack's over here. Okay, everything's a little bit off. I'm gonna lift the trans, I'm gonna try and maneuver the block into the proper position, and then slide the transmission towards me some more. Okay, I'd like it if this strap would get out of my way. It seems like it's wedged up there behind the bell housing. It's like dental floss stuck in some tight teeth there. Oh boy. All right, we might need a torch for this job. Let's just get it over here, and then at least it won't be snagged up under there. We can always leave it there for decoration. There we go, the strap's out of the way. Now I'm going to use my shoulders and elbows to lift the trans forward again and try and get this block situation straightened out without giving myself any blood blisters. Okay, now everything seems pretty straight and lined up. I can't pull the transmission like this. I've got to come out because there's just no room for my head in there, unfortunately. Well, I don't like this at all. This isn't going well. I must say that this is a disaster. What can I do? Well, I could run away. All right, here we go. Go back up. Maybe if I stand off to one side, yeah, like this. If I get behind the bell housing and get my leg up in here and hold the block and slide the transmission, I'm gonna hurt my fingers here when this breaks free in the back. Not the most fun I've ever had, but it's fun to have a challenge, I suppose. What would you do anyway if you didn't have something to do like this? Read a book? What am I gonna read read a book? You know, I don't think you feel very accomplished after that day. What did you do today? I read a book. Oh, okay. I mean, I like books and I like the idea of books, but I need to read a book while I drive or do something else. Is that legal? Can I read a book while I drive? Ah. Oh. Ah! Okay. All right. I don't know what happened, but it felt nice. All right, let's move the jack again. Okay, now everything's looking pretty bad. Everything I can see doesn't look good. Oh, boy. Okay, what happens next? Nobody knows. All right, I'm gonna move my leg like that, wrap it around there like a tight little pretzel. There we go. Now, the transmission is totally on top. Well, all the weight of the transmission is pressing down on that block. I don't think it's properly situated under there, so I'm just gonna do that again. There we go. That was a great maneuver there. Now, they don't teach that in hot yoga. All right, here we go. This is called the transmission slide. Oh, baby, there we go. With great finesse and power and stick-it-intuitiveness, I have properly fucking got myself stuck in here. Okay. It's not looking too good under there, is it? I can't see it, but I have a feeling it doesn't look very good. But who cares? It's here. It's almost here. I don't know how I'm gonna get the strap hooked around it safely. I'm gonna have to go down there, and I'd really rather not. I'd rather stay up here. But I'm going down. Here I go. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, that's kind of ugly, but hey, I got it kind of close. Now that I'm down here, oh yeah, look at that. Okay, come take a look. Yeah, not too good. Oh boy, it was probably a little bit safer while I was using two hands to hold the support the weight of the transmission. I've got to figure this out real quick before I tip it over on top of myself. It's not so much myself that I'm concerned about, it's just the idea that if I drop it, I've got to do this all over again. And as you can see, I've never really formulated a good strategy to get this job done. This is just one where, well, I mean, I think everything I do is sort of, you just have to do it. I mean, I don't know. Perhaps I'm a little bit backwards or confused as to, I don't know what I'm doing at all right now. This has really become a real pickle I've got myself into. I'm going to move the transmission that way, and then I'm gonna push the block like that, and then I'm gonna pull the jack like this, and then I'm gonna slide the transmission while I hold the extension. Okay, now I will be sliding it towards me. There we go. Now it's looking a lot better. And just like that, with a little bit of talking myself through it, I've got it positioned well. Now, don't lose it. I can't lose that spot. And I'm gonna hook the strap around the transmission, around the block, and down to some solid steel. My jack extension. Okay. Now, I've got my ratchet strap hooked around the, well, wrapped around the belly of the trans. I am going to, I've got to get some slack in it so I can get this other hook hooked up to the other side of the jack. All the while, a little gust of wind could probably blow this thing off its perch and put a little dent in me. But we're not going to worry about that. We're going to tighten this strap up. All right. My ratchet strap's been ripped once before. It's been spliced back together. You can see that here. I tied a fisherman's knot. My grandpa taught me how. I don't think it's going to come untied, but you never know what's going to happen. So, all right. I think it's time to try and lift this baby back up and bolt it up.